Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Pure Biology, and today's topic is the flowering genes. So flowering genes, that means the some genes that are involved for the flowering processes of the plants, and this is totally the topic related to the plant physiology. Clear? So before going to this topic, I have to say that there are another many topics that are already explained in my channel, so you just check out that topics. Clear? So now what I'm saying, that flowering genes. So two classes of genes that are very important. Why? Because these control the flowering processes of the plants. The first one is the floral identity genes, and the second one is the floral organ identity genes. Clear? So first one is the floral identity genes, and the second one is the floral organ identity genes. The transition from the shoot vegetative meristem to the floral meristem, that requires the floral meristem identity genes. So first of all, you have to know that there are the two important places which are responsible for the flowering processes, or that can there the flowers can grow. One is the apical region and the second one is the axial region. Clear? And that are present in the stem. So before just converting the stem region or apical and the axial portion of the stem region to the flowering region, the genes play important role. Okay, so which genes that play important role? That floral meristem identity genes, because these floral meristem identity genes that play the important role, because it converts the vegetative meristem, shoot vegetative meristem to the floral meristem. And you all know that meristematic tissue only divides to produce the new cells. Clear? So this shoot meristematic tissue first has to convert into the floral meristematic tissue, otherwise the flowering processes will not be occurred. Clear? So this conversion is done only by these genes. This is called the floral meristem identity genes, and its role is what? First, it specifies the floral organs and cause the termination of the production of the stem cells. So meristematic tissue's role is what? To produce the cells, new cells, divides and to produce new cells. So its role is that these identity genes or floral meristem identity genes, its role is that first it's identify the specific region which for flowering, and then it stops the production of the stem cells or the vegetative stem cells. Clear? Another genes that are also induce these processes, the genes are leafy, apitala 1, cauliflower, and the short form are these. These are expressed in the early floral stages and responsible for the floral fate. So not only this gene is responsible, another important genes that leafy, apitala 1 and the cauliflower, the expression of these genes also involved for these flowering processes. Clear? Now the floral organ identity genes. Now the second one, this is the floral organ identity genes. Its role is what? Its role is to control the floral identity. Only it tries to control the floral identity. Clear? The proteins encoded by these genes are the transcription factors. So here also the proteins that are known as the transcription factors, and also here the in case of DNA or mRNA, you all know replication and transcription process is very important for the expression of the genes, and the transcription factors that continue the expression of the gene by the process of the transcription. Now that likely control the expression of these genes, and whose products are involved in the formation and the function of the floral organs. So you all know that by the process of the transcription, the expression is occurring, and in that way the formation of the floral organs is done. Okay. So in case of Arabidopsis, this is one kind of plant species. The important genes which are involved in this flowering process is that APETALA1, APETALA2, APETALA3 and PISTILLATA and obviously AGAMOUS. So Apetala 1, Apetala 2, Apetala 3, Pistillata and Agamus. Clear? These genes are involved. This is experimentally shown that these genes are involved in the Arabidopsis plant. Now, the ability to flower is attained when the plant has reached to the certain age or size. So, after getting the maturation of the plant, this flowering process that is occurring or that is occurred. So in some plants, the transition to flowering process, this is done autonomously. That means the total process is controlled by only the plant. Okay, and it is totally dependent only the plant. And other plants that requires the exposure to the environmental conditions. So some cases the exposures to the environmental conditions means some environmental factors also involved for the flowering processes. So you just see that some plants they have the flowers in winter season, and in cases some plants they have the flowers in the summer season. So seasonal temperature and light, these are also important factor for the flowering process. So here the transition to flowering is regulated by the multiple signals and the multiple pathways. In Arabidopsis, the flowering is controlled by the photoperiodic vernalization and autonomous and the gibberellin pathways. There are 4 pathways that have seen in the Arabidopsis plant, okay, during the flowering processes. So first one, the photoperiod, second one is the vernalization, third one is the autonomous and the fourth one is the gibberellin pathways. So 4 pathways have seen in these Arabidopsis flowering processes. Now all of these pathways that converge to regulate the meristem identity genes. Okay, all this process that have done or that controlled by these identity genes. The photoperiod and the vernalization pathways that mediate the response to environmental cues. Obviously, these 2 processes, that means the photoperiod and vernalization, one is controlled by the temperature and light, you can say light, and vernalization obviously the temperature and low temperature. The 2 processes are very important pathways, and these 2 processes, that means the 2 processes where the flowering is done or flowering process is occurring in through these processes. One is the photoperiod and vernalization. Here the 2 environmental factors very important. One is the light and another is the temperature, low temperature. And in case of autonomous, the plants totally independent, and gibberellic acid pathway, this is also independent process because gibberellic acid pathway here the main role is played by the gibberellic acid, and autonomous, they are the plants some developmental factors in their body that totally controls the flowering process. And here, so that's why these occurs independently. From external signals, the 2 meristem identity genes LFY and AP1 involved here. So here in these 2 pathways, autonomous and gibberellic acid pathways, the genes are very important, that is LFY gene and AP1 gene, and obviously another genes, that is the SOC1 gene and FT gene. Okay, these genes have played important role in that process. So this is the topic where how the flowering genes, which flowering genes are very important that control the flowering process of the plants. In my next video, I will try to explain the This process obviously related this four pathways, how the flowering processes will be occurred by autonomously or by the factors, environmental factors. So please you continue with my channel, and it's a request to the new comers in my channel. Please subscribe and share and hit the bell icon for getting the all notifications if this channel is helpful to you. Okay, and my this is my long YouTube channel, and the short YouTube channel is the Tapushi @ education, so you can follow that one also.